we don't have any experience with GPS. We had just been reading about it, and you know, we're looking toward the future because we want to stay in business, and it's real competitive now. And like I said before, you want to do anything you can to have an advantage, you know, because it's a fine line between the red and the black. so we think this will tilt it our way a little bit. After the initial scare of using the GPS, everybody's a little scared of it at first because they're afraid they're going to make a mistake. But you know, if we make some kind of mistake, we just call trench safety, and you know, they'll have somebody there, or they'll call us on the telephone, and it's most of the time it's just something simple, you know. If you're not afraid to use it, which after the new wears off of it, all the guys, you know, want it, and the other grading crews are now a little jealous. They want something to do it now, you know. So we're looking at possibly another one. We're always looking for a competitive edge, and every lick counts, you know, that's just the bottom line. If we can get an edge up on somebody, then that's what we're going to strive for. Everything on the Topcon system has been real easy to use. You know, it's just touch screen. You know, you get 3 different views of your job site. You know, you got the 10 lines, profile, cross sections. You know, you could use whatever the guy wants that's in the cab. If, you know, because everybody's different. One guy likes this, okay, he's got it. One guy likes this, push a button, he's got it.
Well, the transition from us going from just doing our own engineering to the Topcon grading system is, the transition was that we used to have to call up our survey party, which we, you know, at times, you know, might be on the other side of the county or somewhere else. So, you know, we'd lose a couple hours there as far as getting our final grades down and everything else. So that'd slow my men down. Well, now, you know, with the technology we got now all we do, it takes me like 25 minutes to set it up, and it's over. That's the only downtime I have. All day long, I can take my own grade. I don't have to call no survey. I can do my own surveying for myself. You know, it lets me know if I'm on the plans, if I ain't, if I'm off, if I'm on. You know, it lets me know where I stand at all times. I don't never have to guess. The guessing game's over with. Now I know exactly within, you know, to the point to where I need to be. And that's what Topcon's done for us. As far as the engineering part goes, like I said, it eliminates 4 or 5 other guys on as far as having to charge time to, as far as payroll wise. We don't have no engineers out here whatsoever. We got the Topcon grading system. That's our engineer. We love it. I mean, I don't know how we ever really worked without it.
At first I was kind of leery because, you know, I didn't know what I was getting into when I punched this button or that button, but after I figured it out, you know, I seen that you couldn't really make a mistake because it'd let you know if you did. About a day or 2, then, you know, I was real comfortable with it. It was good to go.
This is a 38-acre site that we've been working on, planning and building since 1995. Right now we're on a part of the project that we're preparing for 104 garden homes. We started looking into GPS survey equipment about 6 months ago because we wanted more control over our work on the site. We looked at several systems, one of them being a Trimble setup that didn't seem to be more than we actually needed. Generally, our scope of work involves a lot of different things going on in smaller areas. We don't do a lot of mass grading. These building pads are about 4,000 square feet. Plus, we're doing storm sewer and curb and gutter layout, road layout, sanitary and water on this site. We needed something that was simple and quick to use. We also looked at a Sokia system that just didn't have the accuracy that we were looking for. We got a demo from Roger Wheeler of Hayes Instrument Company, and Roger was real good about letting us use it as long as we needed to satisfy ourselves that this is what we wanted to actually use. We've looked at our costs on this project pretty closely, and the cost of this equipment will easily be consumed in this project itself. We are eliminating a lot of our layout and engineering costs, and that'll more than pay for the instrument on this particular project. The other huge advantage to us with this Topcon setup is that we can come out here and set up the base station and rover in less than 5 minutes. This is our base station, we have a permanent mount here. We come out, pull it out of the box, screw it on the mount and turn it on, and it's done. We also have wireless capability between our Topcon data collector and our rover receiver on the pole through a Bluetooth card. So we have no cables, no batteries. Everything is self-contained in the units themselves. We've had several that you need a whole other case for the cables. They have to be connected to batteries on trucks and cables between the data collector and the receivers. This is just real simple, real quick, effortless.
We're currently out here at the airport 5th runway project, which is a joint venture with APAC Georgia, C.W. Matthews, and Thrasher Trucking. Well, what's very unique about this site is instead of having a trucking operation, we have a conveyor operation, and we have a site that is mainly fill. The fill volumes are in the millions of yards. We're talking 14.5 million yards of fill on this site. The primary benefit for us has been time. With the GPS stuff, we have our base set up, it's permanent setup. They can just go out, they check a control point, make sure everything's all right, and then they just go and start shooting. And they can shoot the whole site in no time. They don't have to worry about where they have line of sight or anything like that. They can go anywhere on site. One base unit has been on, since the time the job has started. So it's been running for almost a year and a half now. It's out here in the heat, and the dust, and whatever, and it's run pretty much year-round.
The main benefit of having the GPS equipment is the lack of stakes, the lack of need for stakes. This job's somewhere around 400 acres, and there's a lot of slopes, there are a lot of fill areas, and there'd be stakes everywhere, and we'd constantly be tearing them out. With the GPS, we don't need it. Don't need the stakes, basically. There have been many times when U.S. satellites would be low, and you can look at your screen and see that you're getting the GLONASS ones that come up. It just depends. Certain times of the day when the satellites are in bad spots, the GLONASS ones will kick in and help you out. Cloudy days, sometimes they help out. Just extra satellites being there, you can't have too many. It's extremely efficient. You don't have to stop and check your grade. You can just keep going continuously. Usually if you can give an operator a good day on the GPS, they'll pretty much catch on. They're used to, for years, of moving that lever back and forth and looking at stakes, and they have to get used to looking at that screen. I tell them to treat it like a big fancy video game. Play the game.